Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk on this journey to celebrate industry professionals all around the world because you're bold, brave, you dare greatly, you're solving problems. You are making the world a better place. Adriano Chinello with Arduino is in the hot seat. And you know, one of the things we're going to be talking about is, and I know that I've had this conversation a number of times with many around the world, is yes, I need to digitally transform. Yes, I need to figure that out. But the question becomes, where do I start? Who do I trust? And how much is it going to cost me? Arduino, open source. Let's get cracking with this conversation. So, again, I've been very fortunate. Industrial Talk's been very fortunate to highlight some of the best industrial thinkers out there. And a common theme, once again, is how do I digitize? If I'm a small, mid, large, starting out, what are my strategies? I go out to the World Wide Web, boom, there it is. I've got to do something about it. And I always get drawn to, one, if I go down this strategy, how do I find people? It just is. How do I find trusted individuals? How do I find solutions that don't just get sunset? Or do I find myself sort of shoehorned in a solution that is not dynamic or nimble or be able, and then how much is it going to cost me? So Arduino has a fabulous open source solution. You can go out to arduino.cc right there, find out all of the training, the community, the individuals that are a part of the Arduino community globally are passionate about the Arduino platform. And again, I have to reiterate, it's open source. It's everything. And not only that, you sit there and you're saying, okay, Scott, I hear what you're saying. Will I be, just sort of venturing out in the desert and try to figure this out? No, because of the passionate community that exists out there. Yeah, you need to look into Arduino. Yeah, you'll have all the contact information out there. And you'll find out that Adriano Chinello, Arduino, the guy that we're talking to, passionate, definitely has a desire to help you succeed in this whole digital transformation world and being able to collect that data because that's where the success lies. It's a lengthy conversation. Paper and pencil, most definitely. Stop, pause, do whatever what you need to do. But the reality is that this is a great conversation and wonderful people. All right? Let's get cracking with Adriano. Adriano, thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk, and thank you for saying yes and sharing your wisdom, knowledge into Arduino Pro. So we're going to go into that conversation. Listeners, you're going to say to yourself, well, what's Arduino Pro? And I said, well, we'll have Adriano talk about it. All right.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, no, man. Before we get going, give us a little background on who you are.
Who I am? Okay. Adriano, I joined Arduino a couple of years ago. I am basically an electronic engineer, developing during the years quite a lot. Competence in R&D, product management, and then BU, business unit management, mainly in industrial automation and building automation companies. So I work for international companies, mainly in Europe, in Italy, where I am based. And then a couple of years ago, I joined Arduino when Arduino decided to scale up a dedicated business unit for enterprises. So to move to professional solutions. So basically, I am here to support the company to adapt and to promote the products in dedicated use cases for industrial IoT, basically, mainly.
A couple of key things that you pointed out. One, automation. That is a big conversation point. And I know that companies are looking to automate as much as they possibly can. whatever, go down that journey, whatever it might be. And then I like the fact that you're focused on enterprise as opposed to just like a little here, a little here, a little here. I like that enterprise component. Now, for the listeners out there, we're going to be talking about Arduino Pro. And I want to make sure, give us what that looks like, what is it versus Arduino, which is well known, and now there's this Arduino Pro. Help us understand that.
Thank you very much for this, because this is the main question we get from our customer, and it's our main message, because most of the people around us know Arduino as the leading open source hardware and software company, in the world. Was born to provide an easy to use platform for anyone making interactive projects. And Arduino in this way has reached a growing community of makers, students, and also already companies. Companies mainly willing to experiment and to develop proof of concept, prototypes for home automation, industrial also, wearable, 3D printing, smart agriculture, all these kind of application we see. And during the time, along the years, Arduino developed this community and also a platform, an hardware, firmware, a quite famous, I would say, IDE, so a software development environment. Today we have more than 30 million active users of this on this IDE, so many people around that. And when we saw the adoption from the companies, from the enterprise customer, mainly for prototyping, so much in the laboratories, in the R&D labs, we decided that it was the case to support these customers, these companies, to go beyond the prototypes with Arduino technology. So keep the same technology also for your production after the prototype. So not only for the few pieces you use to validate your idea, but also to keep later, because in this way you don't have to switch the technology, so it is seamless, the shift to production, and you can continue leveraging the same tools and also the same competencies for the development. For this reason, Arduino Pro was established, and we started developing a dedicated product and service and software offer for enterprise customers. So industrial grade hardware, security always in mind for IoT, cloud platform, not only suitable for individuals, but also to manage fleet of devices, because the companies have many products or many machines or many parts to be managed together. So all these kind of things. We had also an interesting story about the communities we are merging, because Arduino has a strong community coming from maker and student competence, experience. And in the industrial automation, as you well know, there is the PLC community, for instance, for the programming of their own machines. And also in this case, we have started developing physical devices and software tools capable of merging these two communities, because we offer both experiences in the programming and they can work together. This is the example, for instance, of the last product we launched, the Arduino Octa.
Massimo brought it. Yeah, I saw it. That's pretty cool. Let me ask you a question. With that said, you got that Arduino Pro. You've got an industrial base out there, and the way I see it is that they want to begin that journey, that digital transformation journey. And there are challenges. Can you sort of explain a little bit some of the problems that exist today in the community, and then let's just go into the solutions of it. So paint that picture there, those challenges today, as me, manufacturer, industrial person.
I would say that mainly for the industrial companies we meet in Europe, in US, around the world, there is always, I would say, a big topic, which is skill availability. So finding the people capable of using complex technologies for IoT, finding and motivating also, because this is also the way to retain the people inside the companies.
Yes.
And this is number one. The number two, I would say, is vendor lock-in. So the constraints the companies have with their suppliers of automation. Usually we see two types of lock-in. One is with the major players like Siemens or Rockwell.
Yeah.
It's of course, they are very strong, so no risk with these companies, but of course, rigidity, yes. So they are quite rigid. They're also often requiring expensive tools or expensive system integrators, for instance, to develop the machine with their own tool. While another category of companies goes in the full custom device, maybe with small companies making dedicated hardware and dedicated software. In that case, the vendor lock-in is also risky, I would say, because you link yourself with someone which is not maybe so robust in the long term, and link you to proprietary system. The third topic is business risk. This is also linked to the supplier, but not only to the supplier, but also to, for instance, the capability to delivery. During the last couple of years, a product availability has been an issue for many companies. And so this is a part of the risk they take. So skill, vendor lock-in, business risk.
See, and I like the way that is laid out. And in a lot of the conversations I've had over a period of time, it is always getting down to the people, finding the people. I need flexibility. So I want it. I need it, a flexibility. And I just don't want to have that risk of somebody going away. And then I'm stuck to try to figure out, I made this investment and I have all of this embedded stuff that I can't work with. And so you're hitting on all the points. The other point I want to make known is not everybody, like small to mid-sized companies, which are a lot out there, it's hard for them to justify the cost of these larger companies that are providing these solutions. It's hard, but I need it to be competitive because I need to have that insight. So there's that balance of being able to, just for me to afford it. So what I hear is you've got there's a great pool of professional resources. You're not locked in, which is very good, which is reducing my business risk. Let's take it one at a time. Tell me about skills availability from an Arduino community. Start with that.
Well, the skills are probably is the first topic we address because Arduino naturally addresses this topic. Arduino was born to train people to adopt easy technology, to be skilled in electronics. So STEM for everybody, basically. And so today we have, as I told, a very large community of developers using Arduino technology. The latest data we have is more or less 30 million active users.
I have to interrupt. Every time I see something posted by Arduino, the information, hey, check this out, look at this, whatever this video is, the community is very, very active. There's this level of excitement and passion that exists in the community. It's infectious. I don't know what they're saying, but all I know is it's cool. And I was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. And so just so that we understand that skill, so you have the Arduino, that legacy side existing out there, the community. And so it's an easy transition for me to go from this community into the pro platform and be able to sort of have that same conversation.
Yeah. And you touched also a very relevant point, which is passion. You mentioned passion. For young generation, but also older like us, but mainly young generation want to work with something that is also motivating, and gives not only technical skills, but also passion and fun at work.
And I don't want you to gloss over that. I don't want you to gloss over that. And I think that industry as a whole has to figure out how to bring in that young talent into backfilling old guys that are leaving, right? They need to bring it in and see and capture that passion. I'm sorry, I just had to, because that's a big deal for me. I want young people to recognize industry as like major thumbs up, cool stuff. Arduino leading the way. Continue. Sorry about that.
No, it's exactly what I was trying to say. Maybe you are saying that better than me, because you know your also your area. I live mainly the European arena, but probably it's exactly the same and even more in US. So it's something that, for instance, brings us to keep also the Arduino heart also in the pro products. You know, when you open the box, you find this passion starting from the unboxing experience, and this is also the reason why today we have, for instance, in LinkedIn, which is a professional social network, there is more than 700,000 profiles of people mentioning Arduino skill as a competence. No? So this is our basis.
Wow.
And for this reason, we think that giving tools and products to be usable in the industrial arena, using the Arduino skills and the competencies, is a very good way to move the young generation inside the job, coming from the schools.
Yeah.
And this is what for us is the best way to remove or to face the topic of skill availability.
So
we have that
continue.
For companies. I just add this for small and medium enterprise. Usually we say, "Hey, guy, do you want to be the owner of your IoT technology? Don't go outside, but maybe find a young guy with Arduino skills and bring him to be trained maybe by us, and start having your own capabilities in-house." Anyway, we are also building up a global network of system integrators managing Arduino technology, because in this way we can support, maybe with specific competencies, I don't know, tiny AI, tiny machine learning. Now, today everybody talks about that. Our boards are suitable for that because they are quite powerful. They can host models, but you need to be skilled a little bit to use this kind of models inside your hardware. We have system integrators, for instance, suitable for motion, vibration detection analysis, for instance. No, this is something that we want to put together. But basically, we want to empower the customer through the wide community we have. Yeah,
I like it a lot. Now, well, let's talk a little bit about what you mean by vendor lock-in, and what's that solution that is being offered by ArduinoPro?
Vendor lock-in for us is solved mainly by open source. Open source is the big thing. At the root of Arduino is open source, because most of our hardware is public, at least the schematic diagrams and so on, and the software is completely open source. And this means that a customer, of course, can use Arduino software and hardware, leveraging our support, our capability to deliver products. But open source means that in case you can anyway access directly the source code of your solution, and you can also manage differently. It's open. This means that there are more than one supplier working with this technology. So you can also look around and say, oh, okay, maybe there is an alternative for a part of my solution, and I can have also a couple of alternatives in my pocket. This is good. The other way we address vendor lock-in is modularity, because we are not our offer is based on single boards that you can use to develop around them a carrier board for a dedicated custom device. But modularity means that you can exchange also the boards. If you have if you have to scale up the power of your machine, or you have I didn't have Bluetooth. Do you have an alternative? Or now I need LoRa instead of Wi-Fi to connect the device. So what we are trying to do is a sort of bricks, no, to build up your solution. And this is also reducing lock-in, because you can exchange our boards with maybe some other boards. By the way, this week I was talking with a big consulting company about supply chain resilience. They were talking about the risks we have, because every year now we have an issue. 1 year there is the silicon problem. This year there is a war. Maybe next year another pandemic. I don't know. I hope not.
No, don't even go there. No, I don't want any part of that conversation.
But anyway, this is something that gives stress, to the supply chain, and having also in this case a product that is flexible by design gives you the opportunity maybe to say, okay, there is no more this silicon. What I can do? Okay, there is another brick compatible with this that I can use. We are working a lot on this in Arduino. For instance, we have.
If you're out on the video, he's popping up some boards right there. So, or some bricks, shall we say, of solutions. So if you're out there on video, make sure that you look and see it, because they're not what you think when he says bricks. They're not big. They're very streamlined and adaptable.
Yes, we have also very, very small, like this.
Oh yeah, see,
this is a stamp. This is already big, but this is a stamp.
Look at that, man.
This is the latest product. It is still not in the market, but it's the latest Portenta board we have in our laboratories under test. We just introduced in embedded board.
So unlike other maybe providers of solutions, digital transformation, IoT, IIoT, whatever, that collection of data, what I hear you saying is you're never locked in, because there's always some sort of a solution out there to say, hey, I got to scale, I got to do this. My business has changed. And you brought up a very interesting example of the supply chain. If that hasn't changed, and you better be adaptable to that, right? You better be able to say, okay, that's different. And what I hear is that ultimate flexibility into being able to create that sustainable type of insights into your business. Business risk. Talk to us a little bit about business risk. Expand what that means. And
business risk. Our target is to reduce the business risk for our customer, thanks to, I repeat myself, open standards, because open standards are always a way to reduce the risk, but also suppliers risk, because Arduino is today a reputable vendor. We are there since many years, and we have, by the way, we are backed from strong shareholders. We also reinforced this path during the last couple of years. We have a very big network of global distributors. You can find Arduino everywhere. So if you have to exchange a board in any country, anywhere in the world, you can find online or physical distributor capable of supplying. And we have direct links with silicon vendors, because this is also a way we use to reduce the risk. Last year it was very hard to find components for many vendors, but more or less all the main pro boards from Arduino were always there in stock, because we were able to leverage our connection with the main vendor. So this is the way we think a customer can evaluate the reduction of the risk with us.
Yeah, I really like what you're saying there, and without a doubt, every conversations I've had with the industrial market, whatever it might be, regarding Arduino, everybody knows Arduino. Everybody. I mean, I haven't had anybody come back and say, Huh? No, they don't say huh. They know Arduino. The last is one of the areas that I get feedback from is, there's IoT and solutions out there, but they're very what we call niche. It's like, okay, I'm here. This is where I play. Does the Pro product solution give you an end to end type of inside just solution?
Yeah. We companies can select, can choose if they want just to stay at the edge devices with a microcontroller board to manage their own solution and maybe with their own IoT connectivity. But our proposal, mainly for companies willing to follow a unique supplier, a unique partner for these complex things, because at the end, IoT, if you want to do well in a secure way and so on, it's you have to see everything. So from the device to the communication media to the cloud, with the security, with the certificates for the IoT, which is not only on the device but it is also stored in the cloud. And we have a platform for that. I already told you we have the physical boards. These are powerful, usually IoT nodes, so they are already connected because they have either Wi-Fi or LoRa or cellular mobile connectivity and so on. And we have also sensing embedded. So if you want to acquire data from the field, or you want to recognize vibration or sound,
ultrasound, sure,
or images like with this small camera, for instance, you can. And these nodes have always intelligence on board to elaborate and to transmit. But moving from that, we start having more and more also ready installable solutions like the Opta, because Massimo told you.
Massimo.
But also, for instance, other products like this Portenta machine control, for instance. This is an industrial system ready for DIN rail installation on a cabinet, and you can use it. That's it. And these are connected with Arduino Cloud. Arduino Cloud is the third important part of the end-to-end solution, because it gives you the access to the data. So you can have dashboard and so on. For Arduino is very important the part of device management, because since we sell hardware, we want customer manage the hardware very well from the cloud. So if you want to make a firmware update on a board, for instance, you can have an over-the-air update directly from the cloud to all your devices. What we have for Linux, for instance, boards like Portenta X8 is also a cloud service to maintain the Linux distribution with all the security patches we release along the time. So
I have to interrupt real quick. I have to interrupt because it's an enterprise solution and it's end to end. That's all great. Take the listeners as briefly as possible from a security perspective, because as we have or develop connectivity, there are people saying, hey, what about security? Tell us about that.
Yeah, security was one of the pillars of the development of all the Arduino Pro product range. Every board you buy from Arduino Pro has always an hardware secure element inside. So there is a dedicated chip managing security certificates, but not only for data exchange, also, for instance, for secure firmware update. You can have signatures on your firmware so that you cannot update something wrong or something hacked in your device. And this is not so common until now in the market. In the past there was not this stress on connectivity, and so on IoT security today is becoming the new standard, and we are more and more ready for that. When we launched our Arduino Pro Linux proposal, we exactly went in this direction, not in the very basic and cheap solution, but in a highly secure solution, managed by the cloud and also certified. We have our boards are certified, for instance, PSA, which is the security certification issued by ARM, the core manufacturer for high level of security. This is what we do, and also in our cloud you can manage the security certification.
So what I hear I have access to skilled individuals that have been within the Arduino family forever, and they're all around the world. That's a plus. I've got the ability to create a flexible solution because I'm not locked into any vendor. I see that it's open, so my business risk is dramatically dropped, and it's a secure end-to-end enterprise solution. And again, I want to talk to people. The people are out there. What are the roadblocks? I'm trying to blow coals into it, but I'm having a hard time. What are the roadblocks?
I would say that the main roadblock we have is our brand awareness in the market, because the great advantage we have is that we come from Arduino, and Arduino is very, very well known. But Arduino historically is known in the maker and educational market. You know very well how much the companies and the industrial environment is conservative, is linked to old solution, and they have to become very convinced of the newcomer. And for us today, I would say that this is the main target. So to raise our brand recognition in the industrial world. Of course, we can clearly already see a fast adoption trend because we are growing, but we want more and more to spread the knowledge of Arduino and be in the companies with our full capability to be exploited.
All right.
Today, maybe just to give you examples, so maybe we have today Arduino in many production lines for automotive manufacturer, maybe in test benches. I don't know, tire testing for a car. Often you find maybe this product inside this test bench, but maybe people don't know so much because maybe there is a system integrator using that.
Right. I don't see it.
What we want to do is to increase the brand awareness.
The challenge is within an industrial world is that I don't see it. I just accept it. It just happens, right? I don't see the name Arduino Pro, flashed up. It's in the machine some way, and I just accept the fact that it's delivering whatever it's delivering to my attention. And so I understand completely. Adriano Chinello, how do people get a hold of you? How do they get a hold of you if they want to talk to you about Arduino Pro and they just like, I got to know more about this because I'm a small to mid to large. I don't care. I need to know more about this solution. How do they get a hold of you? How do they contact you?
So, usually the best way is to go in our website, arduino.cc/pro, and fill in the contact us form, because this is the right way. So I take also the opportunity to tell you that, of course, Arduino Pro is not only products, it's not only solutions, but it's also people, and it is mainly people. And for enterprise, for companies, we have not only our traditional sales channels like online distributors and so on, but we have also a dedicated team of sales and business development and customer success, pre-sales activity. You can reach through the contact form. In this way, anybody can be aware of and can be directly contacted to discuss a project, mainly if the project is something quite complex, willing to scale up in volumes, and so the decision is not trivial, but you have to find the optimized hardware, optimized software. So I would invite the the people to reach us through this channel.
You were absolutely spectacular. Just FYI. I really enjoyed the conversation, Adriano. Here's the deal. We're going to have all the contact information for Adriano out in Industrial Talk. You will have no problem. You'll be able to contact him. I encourage everyone listening to at least begin that journey. Look at the solutions that are being offered by ArduinoPro and begin that conversation. So thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure, Scott.
Excellent.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right, listeners, we're going to wrap it up on the other side. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right, a wonderful thank you to Adriano Chinello. Arduino is the company. And in the conversation, just as a sort of a background again, we were talking about skills availability. Yeah, they address it. Definitely vendor lock-in with the Arduino Pro solution. You're not locked in. Of course, we talked about business risk as well as end-to-end for the enterprise, right? End-to-end. And it's open. And there's just tremendous support with it globally for the Arduino platform. Look into it. You need to be a part of the digital transformation juggernaut for your business. Figure it out. Find those trusted individuals, those companies. And also, once again, you just got to do it. Dig your feet in. All right. We're building a platform. We thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk. We're going to have another great conversation coming from Arduino shortly, so stay tuned. We will be right back.